Hi, welcome to Ridgway State Park. My name is Kirstin Copeland. I'm the park manager, and I want to go over some water stuff with you guys today, and we appreciate being part of this project. Water is a big part of what draws people to our park and to this area. We have the inflow, Uncompahgre River and Dallas Creek, the main reservoir, and then we also have the tailwaters and a couple of fishing ponds. All of those draw a lot of visitors and recreation and use, as well as contain a lot of our aquatic and fish species on the park. So let's go visit them and we'll talk more. Hi there, so we're on site at Dallas Creek. That is one of the day use areas at Ridgway State Park, and I'm hoping you got to see that quick rainbow shot. We wanted to include it. So a couple of things about Dallas Creek. It's one of our major access points for the water, and as we discussed, the reservoir is a big reason why people come. So you can do so many things at Dallas Creek. We kind of call it the Wild West. You can open swim year round here at your own risk. So we don't test the water. There's dogs, there's fishing, but it is a choice that people have now as an option to the designated beach at Dutch Charlie. You can also paddle, which is why this area has gone from being a sleepy part of our park to one of the busiest. On a busy summer day, you'll see about 50 cars here and hundreds of people, and they're all out doing all the great things that the reservoir is here for: paddling, swimming, fishing, and just enjoying each other's time. You can also have a dog off leash at this area right at the water's edge, and that's an option we wanted to give folks so they can work the energy out, but it's not somewhere where wildlife is going to be as affected. And one of the reasons why we really restrict dogs off leash to this area is that if you turn around, and we'll give you a shot of this great grass behind us, this is where a lot of waterfowl and other bird nesting occurs. Also, some mammals are in this area. And so by keeping dogs off leash on this shoreline, we still allow the resources to be here, which is the other reason why the park is here, is to protect some of those resources. So we have geese that nest, and goslings come out every year. We also have raptors that stay in this area and fish and hunt. So it's a really important part of how we balance recreation and resources. Some of the other things that we look at for resources here are we don't allow any motorized boat launching, and I'll explain that when we head to the boat ramp area, but only paddlecraft with no motors can launch down at this area. So for safety, one of the things we always try and stress is that life jackets on any kind of watercraft, be it a motorized, a paddle, because we have a lot of close calls now that we have so many paddlers out there. They kind of think of them as low risk, and they'll get out there and a storm will move in and the temperature drops and the wind picks up and they get exhausted paddling back, and then they fall off their board or out of their kayak and they get cold because our water temperature never gets above about 75, which is way below our body temp. And so you combine exhaustion with hypothermia and not having a life jacket on, and we have had some close calls. So we really want to stress that PFDs are a huge part of how we keep people safe at the lake, and that they could still be here and enjoy it. So that is Dallas Creek in a nutshell, and we'll go ahead and wrap up and we'll meet back at the boat ramp. Hi, welcome to Ridgway's boat ramp. So the main thing that goes on here is motorized boat launching. Every boat with a motor is required to go through our inspection station. If we want to pan over there, you'll see our inspector heading back on a very quiet day for boating. And the reason that we look for every motorized boater to be inspected is because of zebra and quagga mussels. Anybody who's been to Lake Powell knows what happens when they invade a body of water. They take over the infrastructure and they destroy the fishery as well. So in Colorado, we have an inspection program that helps prevent the spread of those. In addition to the mussels, which are the most serious concern that we have, we also look for some other invasives. Eurasian milfoil, which is a plant, and it only takes a little fragment carried from one body of water to the next, and it can start up a whole population. And those are oftentimes on little trolling motors, so that's one of the reasons we look at those. And then also New Zealand mud snails come in on the bottom of boats that are in muddy areas, and they also come in on fly fishing boots and equipment and things like that. So we're really trying to prevent the spread of some of those. They not only are bad for infrastructure and fisheries, but they also outcompete the natives like a lot of invasives. So the other thing that we wanted to talk about is water levels. The dry west, the droughts that we're going through, 2021 is one of the driest years on record for the Colorado River. And we too are doing some operational changes due to that. We have a shortened marina season, so our slip and buoy rentals that we used to be 6 months long are now 4, because we really can't promise past August that we're gonna have high enough water level to keep our marina open. And then we also have to close our designated beach, which our designated beach is kind of the sandy beach area here. We test for E. coli. There's no fishing, there's no pets, and there's no glass. So it's kind of the controlled side of swimming at Ridgway State Park. But once we drop below a certain elevation, we have to close it for safety. So we've had to close that more often because of low water levels as well. And I think just drought in general, people see the lake, and even though our boat ramp's a 1/4 mile long and you can always launch here, people see it low and they just assume that there's not going to be good boating. So it really affects all of our operations to be in a drought cycle, like many other businesses. Finally, while we're talking about drought, I'll switch to capacity, because we've been at capacity a lot this summer, which means that our day use areas, the parking lots fill, the beach is very crowded, the paddle areas are crowded, and I think like everything in Ouray County, the outdoor recreation demands are just on the rise. We have more and more people out doing it, and we're trying to balance all of those users and the resource protection and safety side of it too. So capacity is an issue for Ridgway State Park. Our campground was sold out for most of this summer every night, and that doesn't include the people that come in just to spend the day. So I think capacity is going to be an ongoing management challenge for us as well, but we're here because of the recreationists, and we always want to be available and open to that. So hopefully we'll see you at Ridgway State Park. So thanks for visiting the park with me. I hope that you got a good feel for how important water is to us and all the ways that we manage it. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, so bring your great questions and we'll get to visit more. Thank you.